I regret my comments, as I said, and I stand corrected.
She's not debating, not denying. She's literally begging Whoopi Goldberg, is seriously begging Karoline Leavitt behind closed doors. Why? Because this $800 million lawsuit isn't just real. It's getting way too real fast. Karoline Leavitt didn't just sue The View. She sued their reputation, their power, and idea that big media can mock slander and laugh it off like nothing happened. And Whoopi, she's panicking. Sources say she's privately reaching out, whispering through mutual contacts, pleading, "Please, let's settle this. Don't take it all the way." But Karoline, she's not blinking. And today, we're breaking down every twist of this shocking power shift, how a young outsider got the upper hand on daytime TV's biggest star, and why Whoopi Goldberg might never recover from this moment. Before we get into it, hit that like button and make sure you subscribe, because this is the kind of behind-the-scenes drama the media will never show you. Did you just subscribe? Awesome. Now let's dive in.
Women are completely out of touch with reality, and you're right, ABC should.
Let's hit rewind and take it from the top. Karoline Leavitt, a young, confident, and sharply dressed political voice, steps into the studio of The View. She's calm, she's collected, and most of all, she's ready to have a fair conversation. She came prepared to talk policy, to discuss ideas, and maybe even spar a little. That's what debates are supposed to be, right? But what she didn't know was that this wasn't going to be a respectful talk. It was a setup. The moment she sat down, the mood shifted. Joy Behar, one of the longtime co-hosts, smirked and dropped the first insult disguised as a joke. Let's be honest, Trump probably just likes her cause she's a 10. Everyone laughed, not because it was funny, but because it was mean, and they knew it. Then came Sanani Ha. She leaned back in her seat and tossed out the term white privilege like it was just another prop in the show. She didn't ask Karoline anything. She didn't try to listen. She just threw the label on her like a sticker, as if that was enough to discredit everything Karoline had worked for her. And then Whoopi Goldberg, the one with the biggest name, the longest history, and the loudest voice, she gave that classic Whoopi smirk, rolled her eyes, and delivered the line that would blow everything up. "You didn't earn this. You're just a product of right-wing pity politics." It was loud, it was cutting, and it was broadcast to millions. The crowd, they roared with laughter like it was a comedy show. The cameras, they zoomed in, hoping for a reaction, and Karoline, she didn't give them what they wanted. No raised voice, no dramatic retort, no storming off the set. She sat still, nodded once, and then she made a phone call, not to her press team, not to social media, to her lawyers, and just days later, boom, a lawsuit hit the headlines like an explosion in the middle of Hollywood. $800 million. That's how much she sued The View for. Not thousands, not even millions, $800 million. Because this wasn't just bad manners, it was public humiliation, planned, written, and broadcast live. And Karoline, she was ready to hold them all accountable. At first, Whoopi brushed it off on air. She shrugged, laughed, and said something like, "Hey, it's just politics." But when the cameras stopped rolling, that smile disappeared fast. Because behind the scenes, chaos was brewing. Karoline Leavitt wasn't joking. Her legal team wasn't wasting time. They went straight to the core of the show, asking for everything: emails, private scripts, notes from producers, camera footage that never aired, even backstage recordings. And when the legal team started digging, they hit gold. One internal document, now leaked to the press, read like a battle plan. Joy opens with an age joke: "Sunny will bring in race." Whoopi lands the kill shot, keep the segment tight. An explosive weight. What? This wasn't off the cuff. It wasn't a surprise moment. It was written, planned, produced. And when that document made its way into the courtroom, legal experts everywhere sounded the alarm. This could be one of the most dangerous lawsuits The View has ever faced. One analyst said on national TV, because this wasn't just a case about defamation, it was a case about intent. And Karoline's lawyers were proving moment by moment, word by word, that this wasn't an accident. It was a media takedown dressed up as an interview. And Whoopi, suddenly, she had nothing to say. No jokes, no comments, no cute comebacks, just silence. Because when your own scripts become evidence, there's nowhere to hide.
Think how ironic that Whoopi Goldberg and Joy Behar and the rest of the ladies on The View spend their time calling Republicans the conspiracy theorists, but they have been wrong about everything they have said over the last couple of.
This is where the story takes a turn, not on camera, not in front of the audience, behind the scenes private secret. Because now Whoopi Goldberg isn't cracking jokes. She isn't rolling her eyes or tossing sarcastic remarks. She's making phone calls, according to two separate insiders, one from inside ABC's production floor and another close to Whoopi herself. She has started reaching out, not with lawyers, not with publicists, with her voice. She's privately begging Karoline Leavitt's team to talk, to settle, to make this whole lawsuit, this $800 million nightmare, go away quietly. No cameras, no courtrooms, no jury. Why? Because Whoopi knows what's coming. And it's not good. See, Karoline's legal team isn't bluffing. They've already collected a mountain of evidence footage that was never supposed to air, internal emails that tell a very different story, audio clips that could change public opinion in seconds. And if this case goes to trial, every single one of those receipts goes on display. The jury will see it. The media will report on it. And Whoopi, she'll be right there on the stand trying to explain every word. One source close to the production spilled this. She's terrified, like full on panic. She knows that once she's under oath and the evidence rolls out, it's game over. And get this, Whoopi didn't even call Karoline directly. That would have looked too desperate. She called around her through mutual contacts, industry insiders, whisper campaigns, quiet messages, hoping to find a way to patch things up before it all explodes. But Karoline, she's not flinching. She listens calmly, professionally, and then she turns to her legal team and says the two words Whoopi didn't want to hear: keep going, because Karoline doesn't want a behind-the-scenes apology. She wants accountability. Meanwhile, over at ABC, it's full-blown panic mode. Producers are pacing, legal teams are scrambling, executives are holding closed-door meetings at 7 a.m. every single day. Why? Because this lawsuit isn't just about one bad segment. It's a ticking time bomb, a courtroom loss. This big $800 million isn't just embarrassing, it's devastating.
Everything everyone is saying to me, and I I don't want to fake apologize. I was very upset about that people are misunderstood what I was.
Sponsors are already pulling ads. Companies that once fought for commercial space during The View are now ghosting ABC entirely. Some are even yanking their ads from other shows just to avoid being connected to the fallout. One source inside the ABC legal department leaked a chilling line from a recent internal memo: begin exit strategies in the event of legal loss. Yes, you heard that right, exit strategies. That's corporate speak for we might have to shut this whole thing down. The same show that's been on the air for decades, the one with millions of viewers and decades of headlines, could actually be canceled because the math isn't on their side. If Karoline's evidence lands in the courtroom and a jury sees how this interview was really produced, it could cost ABC hundreds of millions, not just in damages, in reputation, in trust, and brand value. And Whoopi, she's not just a co-host anymore. She's the symbol of the whole mess, the face of a show that might have gone one insult too far. The View isn't just facing a lawsuit. It's staring down the end of an era. And Karoline, she's not just holding the line. She's writing a new one. While the media turns red hot and Whoopi Goldberg's absence dominates headlines, Karoline Leavitt moves like a shadow. No interviews, no drama, just her and her legal team, focused, ready, locked in. She isn't chasing attention, she's chasing justice. And every single day her case gets stronger while the others panic. Karoline is collecting receipts like a quiet storm. Her lawyers, armed with full access to communications footage and back-end documentation from The View, are digging deep. And what they're finding, it's not just uncomfortable, it's explosive. One document shows producers scripting emotional angles, have Joy joke about Karoline's age and experience cut to Sunny for a race narrative, let Whoopi land the final ideological blow. Another email thread reveals something chilling: be ready to shift tone mid-segment if she doesn't crack push Trump angle. This isn't journalism, it's entertainment warfare, and Karoline's team knows it. They're turning it into a case that could change everything. She could be loud about it, she could brag, she could launch a hashtag campaign. But that's not who she is. Instead, she walks into every legal strategy meeting, calm, ponytail Tight binder full, no entourage, no stylist. She shows up to win. Meanwhile, public support grows like wildfire. TikTok is buzzing. YouTube is running daily breakdowns of the lawsuit, analyzing every leaked document. Twitter threads go viral overnight. Some say Karoline is becoming a symbol not just of conservative resistance, but of something bigger, of someone who stood up and said, "You don't get to drag me through the mud on TV and laugh it off." Thousands of comments flood her feed. "You're doing what everyone else is too scared to. This isn't just your fight, it's all of ours. Hold the line, Karoline. Don't let up." And she doesn't, while The View holds emergency Zoom meetings and ABC execs whisper about exit strategies. Karoline keeps her foot on the gas. She doesn't want airtime. She wants accountability, and it's working, because for once the power structure is trembling, and the girl they underestimated, she's rewriting the rules. Let's not sugarcoat it. When someone like Whoopi Goldberg, a Hollywood titan and Emmy-winning host, an EGOT legend, starts making quiet phone calls, asking to settle, it's not strategy, it's surrender. She's not doing it for privacy, not doing it for dignity. She's doing it because she knows what's coming next. Court, a judge, a jury, screens playing unedited footage.
For anyone, and it's not good for poor folks. It is not good for y'all, because you become slave fodder. It's not a good thing. It's not good for women, because you are now being told and dictated to, and you can't say anything because they, throw you in a jail or whatever.
Karoline's lawyers with page after page of behind-the-scenes conversations that prove one thing: this wasn't an off-the-cuff segment. This was a takedown, engineered, scripted, delivered with the precision of a daytime hit squad, and Whoopi knows it. She knows once she's on that witness stand, there's no spin, no applause, no teleprompter, just the truth. So she does what anyone would do. She pleads. Sources say she reached out through two mutual contacts, one of them a former executive producer from another ABC show, hoping to arrange a closed-door meeting with Karoline's legal team. She offered to apologize quietly. She offered to settle quietly. She even reportedly asked what amount might make the problem go away. But here's the kicker: Karoline didn't even take the meeting. She didn't need to. She told her lawyers if she wanted to apologize, she had a stage, she had a mic, she had a camera. She mocked me in public. She can answer in court.
Do not agree with these despicable women on The View. They are wildly out of touch with the vast majority of Americans, and frankly, they should seek immediate help because...
Well, listen, if you don't have anything to say, you blab. You just go on and 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 on.
I would like to talk about Joe Biden and Donald Trump, who you work for.
I am stating facts that your colleagues have stated in the past.
Okay.
Now, as
I'm
for
sorry,
this
guys.
debate,
We're going to come back out to the panel. Karoline, thank you very much for your time.
That was so good. So good. In a statement afterwards, this young lady claimed her, quote, on-air snub proves that who will not be treated fairly in the upcoming debate. Now, do you think this is going to make people doubt whether CNN can stay objective, or is this more the same of everybody's against me, it's all rigged, I tell you. Is everything rigged?
No, it's their MO. That's what they do. Rachel Maddow said last week, she's like, if the election is lost, it was rigged. If there's a debate, then the moderator...
That was it. Decision made, no deal. Because when you've been publicly embarrassed, when you've been labeled dismissed, and attacked, a whispered sorry in a side room doesn't cut it. Not for Karoline, and not for the people she's fighting for: the moms, the students, the whistleblowers, the interns, the... Guess who smiled through the pain when they were misquoted and edited for ratings? This isn't just a lawsuit, it's a message. If you think your power protects you, think again. And that message, it's catching fire across America. People are waking up. They're realizing that the same media voices that claim to uplift are often the ones pulling others down. And Karoline Leavitt, she didn't flinch. She didn't settle. She said no, because some truths deserve a courtroom, and some apologies are too late to matter.
divisive and disgusting speech that any president, certainly in my lifetime, has ever given. He essentially waged war on half of the country by saying that we are all a threat to democracy because we believe in putting America first. It's not radical to want to put your country and your own people first. It's not radical to want to have a strong border, a strong military, and to unleash the might of your own economy, not economies around the world. You know, we have seen cultural Marxism trickling its way through every institution in this country. The public school system, the higher education university system, Hollywood, big tech, the corrupt mainstream media that I fought against in President Trump's White House are indoctrinating my generation of Americans into hating our country, hating one another based on race and gender and sex and all of this other BS, quite frankly.
I would like this young lady this is her first job. I would like her to do a little homework. Because she said something yesterday that really pissed me off. And that was, she said, there will be no wokeness here.
Oh, yeah.
Let me explain something to you. Because without that wokeness, you might not have that job.
Yeah.
Because women were not invited to that table. Women were not invited to many tables in this nation. The reason we fought and busted our behinds to make sure that you didn't have to worry about this. And now to hear you talk about it and to hear anybody talk about the wokeness was put in place for a reason, because Black people couldn't get into colleges, because women could not get into the colleges they wanted to go to. This is all women.
Yeah.
See, this is not Black, Asian women. This is all women. Women were not invited to this party. It was a man's world, and we busted our asses to make sure that this was.
All right, now it's your turn to speak up seriously. What do you think is really going on here? Is Whoopi Goldberg actually scared of what could come out in this trial? I mean, let's be honest, when someone famous starts calling behind the scenes asking for things to go away, it usually means there's something they really don't want the world to see. Do you think Whoopi is hiding something big? Or is she just hoping Karoline will get tired, take the money, and leave this whole thing in the past? More importantly, should Karoline do that? Should she grab a private payout and walk away with her head held high? Or should she push forward all the way to court, all the way to a verdict, and maybe even all the way to changing TV history? Because here's the thing, this case isn't just about one insult on one episode of a talk show. It's about how powerful media treats people they don't agree with. It's about the difference between free speech and reckless speech. It's about accountability. And if Karoline wins this, if this goes all the way, the View may never be the same again. That's why I want to hear from you. Drop a comment below right now and tell me, do you think Whoopi Goldberg is running scared? Should Karoline take the deal or fight till the end? Is this lawsuit the beginning of the end for The View? Don't be shy. I'm reading every single comment, and I want to know what you think. And before you click away, don't forget to smash that like button. If you believe the truth should always win, subscribe to this channel. If you want more explosive breakdowns and updates, share this video with someone who still thinks The View is just harmless TV, because this isn't harmless anymore. This is real.